Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Believe in Tennessee Football. I'm your host, as always, Kyler Curvison, along with my co-host, Reed Bacon. We got a great one. We talk about Salter, the news of his suspension, go over some of the numbers for our VFLs in the Pro Day and what that means. And I share a story about getting body slammed by a first-round draft pick. And Reed shares a story about playing video games with a former Vol and NBA star. So very entertaining. I also want to say I'm still working on getting guests. I think I have a few lined up for the future, so that should be fun. And let's start the show.
Tie the game. Snap. The kick is in the air, and the kick this time is no, sir. Reed. No, sir. Reed. Final score. Tennessee 20, Florida 17. Pandemonium reigns.
Loads up, fires long for the end zone. The pass is going to be caught. Tennessee wins! Caught by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch in the end zone on the Hail Mary.
Down at the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. What did he do? All he did was score. Joey Pence, touchdown on play number 1.
So before we get into the show, gotta shout out our main sponsor at BetOnline. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of the sports action. March Madness is going on. That's in full swing. But they cover other sports too. NBA, NHL, baseball, anything that's going on right now, they're covering it. They have you covered on all the news, the scores, the odds of every single sport out there. So head to the website at betonline.ag or use your mobile device and to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. All right, everyone, welcome in to another episode. Me and my co-host Reed here for you. Wanted to start off by saying I apologize for getting a little bit of information wrong on last week's podcast. I talked about two guys I thought would show out during spring practice, two newcomers. One of them was Byron Young, and the other was Cody Brown. Cody Brown is no longer on the team. He is in Miami.
Way to go, Kyler.
Yeah. I am the idiot here, and I will accept that. I was excited for him to be here, but he is no longer, so wanted to get that correct off the jump. But enough of me being stupid. How are you, Reed? How's everything going, bud?
I'm good. Happy Palm Sunday to you and everyone out there. Also, bro, I was giving you a hard time. It's so, with all the transfer portal stuff and this happening, that happening, and people getting released, and then 1 minute you hear they might come back, and then it happens with the Cody Brown stuff. I know you were excited about him just because you like a big old beast running back, but hey, we'll have another, so it ain't no big deal.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out. I think it's just part of it. Like you said, it's so back and forth nowadays with this transfer portal. It's tough to keep up with. But let's start with the biggest news of the week, which is Kaiden Salter also being suspended, along with the other 3 guys who were arrested for marijuana possession. So apparently Salter was in the room with them. I don't know. It's very back and forth because, they're saying it's just a possession charge and that they found him like that. But then there's also the story of them breaking into a dude's house. So
house or apartment?
Apartment, whatever.
Okay,
but it's
it's just so strange. Like how is there the assault, quote unquote, the break-in, and the only charge that's happening is a possession charge? I don't quite understand the dynamics of that, but this is
Because they're
not a
Tennessee
good
football players, and we got to get them off the hook.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a good look for Salter. This is definitely put him at the bottom of the quarterback competition, I would say. And I mean, he still feels pretty confident. Saw him tweet, I think like Friday, keep that same energy when I'm back out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if he's just like, oh, this is no big deal. I'm going to be fine. I'm still going to, be able to compete for a job or whatever. But a freshman coming in, it's very important to get as many reps as you can. If you're going to miss spring, like, I don't know how long he's going to be suspended, but if you're going to miss spring practice, it's definitely going to hurt you.
Yeah, agreed. And like I was telling you, I actually had a buddy text me a couple weeks back before all the news broke, and he was jokingly texting me saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be your insider for the podcast." And to his credit, he went one of two. So he thought Jeremy Banks was one of the guys. Good thing we didn't say anything. But then he did say, "Hey, I think Kaiden Salter's reported one of them." And obviously, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not on here to try to break news or anything like that. And I was hoping it wasn't Kaiden Salter, but it is. And, we'll see what the facts come out. We'll see if they're back on the team. Like you said, that tweet has to be hopefully somewhat of a good thing, meaning that, like, it's not going to go anywhere that criminally or whatever. The charges might be dropped, or they'll get it taken care of or whatever. Tough look, though. Tough look. But, we've talked about it before. And, hopefully all this hopefully, honestly, that it all goes away, and that most importantly, the guys learn from it and just don't make dumb mistakes again.
Yeah, that's what you always hope. I think Nick Saban said it before, like, oh, do you want me to just get rid of the guy? You want me to just send him back home and have him make those decisions in a non-structured place? It's like sometimes you got to give guys second chances, and this is their only salvation. Like, football is their salvation. It is what gives them structure. I mean, I failed classes at Tennessee. I had to retake classes. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
What'd you fail at UT?
I failed accounting and econ.
Bro, no way.
Yeah.
Hold on. So the people need to know this. Like, I'm not just saying this, like, you're a legit smart guy. Like, you were like probably 27, 28 on the ACT, like good grades.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
yeah. How'd you fail? Where you had to be like not taking it serious?
Yeah. So literally, I was not taking it serious. Got a good earful after that happened. So it was both of them were in summer school. Accounting was the June class. Econ was the July class. And accounting, I tried as hard as I could to grasp the information when I was in it, but all my test scores were very low and like in the 60s. So the final, I had to make like a 78 or 80 to pass the class. And I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I skipped out on the final.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa.
For accounting.
Hey, this is news to me because, and like, I'm not like making fun of you, but like you are like you're a good guy. Like, you make the right decisions, you do the right things. You did well at Catholic and like a good student. And so like this is kind of news to me because like I said, you are a smart guy, and so like I never thought you would have failed, even if you were just even though when you and Tyler were in those your
sports
master's
classes.
You guys were getting your master's together at UT. He said that you would just be in there playing Madden every day.
I did play Mad Mobile on my iPad a few times in class.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah. He said, didn't the teacher would, he said the teacher would come by and you wouldn't even like look up. Like you would just be playing bad.
Look, man, I still got A's in those classes, so
I know. I'm just, I didn't mean to get deterred from the podcast, but I literally never knew you failed those classes. I knew it had to be because of just like not wanting to or not paying attention or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone goes through it just growing up, becoming an adult. You know, in college, it's like, well, I would rather take a nap or I'd rather go out and party the night before or whatever than go to class.
Right.
And you start to lose what's important and understanding what's important. And, you know, you got to get put back on the path. And that wouldn't have happened without structure at Tennessee, like structure of being on the football program. And I mean, it honestly just, you know, playing football in general, but also playing at the collegiate level, like made me who I am today. And I would want everyone to get an opportunity to just go through 1 year on a big time football program and just understand what all goes into it and the structure that you learn from it. But, you know, I digress. Let's go back to the actual point, not talk about me being an idiot.
So sorry to interrupt this amazing show, but got to shout out another one of our sponsors. It is Sunday Scaries. So I don't sleep very well. I actually have sleep apnea. But, you know, I know a lot of people struggle with stress and anxiety. And, you know, you go to put your head in the pillow and all you can think about is, you know, what did I not say? What I should have said? What actually happened during the day? And it's hard to calm down before you sleep. So it makes sleep really tough for a lot of people. But, you know, there's Sunday Scaries. And it makes a product specifically for overthinkers. And these CBD gummies help to decompress, clear your head, fall asleep, so you can actually wake up and, you know, be a fully functioning human being the next day. So there's no risk to buy. They offer 100% lifetime money back guarantee. If the product's not for you, you know, that's okay. You'll get your money back. So Sunday Scaries is really relieving stress because there's no stress about a return. I got you a 25% off to prove it. So visit sundayscaries.com and use my promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV for your discount. So it's promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 25% off at sundayscaries.com. They're freaking amazing, and you won't regret joining this squad.
Okay. No, hold on. Hey, let me say something real quick. No, I think it's a great point because, and I'll admit, when Saban came out and said that stuff, it was, oh, yeah, well, it's just because he's a 5-star. You don't want to get rid of him. But then as I really thought about it, like, it is true. Like, if you kick these guys, some of these guys to the curb, like, it really is. Like, this is kind of like their big hope in meaning, like, that sounds really bad, but it's like they care so much about sports. So it's like if you do kick them off the team and they don't get to be around good people or a good environment or good structure for 3, 4, 5 years, and you kind of send them back home, and then they're like, well, what do I do now? I don't have football. So then they immediately just start making maybe bad decisions because they're in bad areas, or even they don't have to be in a bad area. What if they just are really bummed out because they lost out on their dream, and then they decide just to go down a bad, you know, a bad road. And so I mean that meaning, like, I don't want it to sound like we're talking like everyone's from the streets and bad upbringings and stuff, because you could be from a good upbringing, still be really mad at yourself, and then go down a dark road like, well, I'm not playing football anymore, so I'm going to start drinking or doing drugs or not having accountability for my actions. So no, I actually love that Saban said that. And like I said, I'll admit, I thought he was BSing at first, but I think it's good. And I really do hope that all the kids in college can have as many opportunities as they can, as long as they're showing that they are trying better. Like with the Jeremy Banks thing, I'm happy that they gave him back on the team. Like, like Jeremy Banks is a fine football player, but like he's not a stud. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like he's, one of our ultimately best players. Like Tennessee could have easily let him go. Tennessee could have easily let him go and been completely fine him not coming back on the team. But it sounded like he did what he needed to do to earn his way back on the team, and hopefully that helped him grow. But anyways,
the same thing happened with Juwan Jennings. He got kicked off the team, and they brought him back, and it was huge for him. And he's now, in the NFL. And that
I completely forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't get those second chances all the time. So it's awesome to see when a guy is able to succeed. And like you were saying, it doesn't necessarily mean that, they're from the streets or they had a bad upbringing or anything like that. But like if someone is making those kind of mistakes here in college with structure, with people trying to lead them in the right direction, what kind of mistakes are they going to make without structure, without good mentorship, without any of the nice things that they get when they're here? I mean, it's a slippery slope. It can get a lot worse, like you said. I just hope they all understand what they have and how blessed they are and be able to bounce back.
And you made a great point. I forgot to touch on this just a second ago. When you said you were kind of saying, hey, I wish everybody could go through this and be in the structure of football. I can promise you, anyone that's listening that's played really any level of sports, we all know that we were more scared of getting in trouble during a season or by our coach because we knew that meant we were running after practice, we were doing up downs or bear crawls or plate pushes. I mean, I would have rather my mom or dad found out about something than being in high school and Mark Pemberton find out about it. Or when I went to Memphis and I missed a workout one time, literally just because I overslept and I wanted to quit that day after all the all the crap we had to do. I mean, bear crawls and sprints and like I said, plate push, like all the nonsense. Like I would have rather done anything but that stuff. So it holds us accountable.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I think that pit in your stomach is a little different from your coach. They can take away something that you love so much, which is the sport that you're playing. It doesn't necessarily mean it just has to be football, like basketball goes through it, soccer, whatever. But like, here's something that you love to do. Here's something that you've loved since you were a kid. Now that you did something bad, I can take it away from you. And also punish you on top of that. So it's always scary. And having good coaches or people that hold you accountable, like you're saying, that can mentor you and teach you is huge for a lot of people. I mean, I'm just going to give you the example of me. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 6 years old. So growing up, wasn't always in the picture, and I kind of did need mentorship from a man, and I got that through my football coaches. Like I still remember coaches back in the day, shout out Coach Zelliger, just being there for me as a kid and helping me understand how to just be a good human being. And a lot of guys need that when they're coming up if they don't have, a father figure in their life or if the person is in their life, but it's just like kind of absent, that really does help. And, that's not always the experience for everyone. Some people are, parents stay together for 60 years, but I think it truly does help to have someone to look up to.
Agreed. So, all right, to the fun stuff. Hit me with some of these pro day numbers. I got Josh Palmer's pulled up. I couldn't find Trey Smith's. I know I'd seen them, but now I can't find them. I know you have them though.
Yeah, so we'll end on Trey Smith because I want to talk about Trey Smith just as an offensive lineman. But
sure.
So we'll start with Bryce Thompson. The only things I was able to find were the 40 and the broad jump. He ran a 4.47 in the 40 and had a 10-foot broad jump. honestly, I was kind of surprised with the 4.4.
Me too.
I thought he was slower than that. I thought he was going to be like a high 4.5s and maybe a 4.6. So, I mean, that's awesome for him. Looks like he's been working his tail off to get to that speed, but a lot of times 40 is technique. Like your start can determine, the difference between a 4.4 and a 4.7, like all based off your start. So I wish they would give us more numbers. I literally don't understand why this is such a difficult thing to get numbers from these guys. Like it makes
it's
no
like
sense.
it's freaking Fort Knox. Like 5 years ago, we could look up in the Knoxville News Sentinel on the paper when it came out, or like anywhere on the line, and it would say Reed Bacon 4.42. He did 225 like 63 times. But seriously, like it would literally have their name and list all their numbers. And like now it's like it's so secretive. But yeah, well, I'll say this. I did not know he ran a 4.47, and I agree 1,000% what you just said. I thought he was going to be a high 4.5 guy. I'm so happy for him. Good for him. The only thing I would have liked to have known about Bryce Thompson is what he was, his stats of what he was listed at. Which I would have loved to have seen those, but
because I think like on the roster for the season, he was 5'11", 190. I'd like to know if maybe he lost weight, gained weight, if he was actually 5'11", or if he's like 5'10", or shorter. Because I think DB is the one position where you can be shorter than any other position, but it's not great. Like you want someone who's near 6 foot as a DB, but but yeah, I'm super happy for Bryce. I think that's an awesome 40 time, and hopefully he can show out and be able to impress some teams enough. And I don't know how they're doing. I guess they're not doing any workouts during this time with COVID and stuff. Because in years past, all throughout the spring leading up to the draft, guys would, get calls from teams, go up there, have a workout before the draft started, or the team would come down and work out with them individually before the draft. And now it only seems like all you can get is what happened on that pro day. So I feel like there's going to be more misses in this draft than in years past.
Yeah, very good point. And I'll say this about Bryce Thompson real quick before we move to somebody else. I love the way he plays. And I'm not sitting here telling you I've watched every snap of his or I've broken down film, but what I can remember watching of him, I feel like he can actually really, really excel in the NFL at like one of those nickel spots. And nickel is so huge nowadays. And being a huge Titans fan, like I could see him when we had Logan Ryan or when we had Kenny Vaccaro, and we would put them in the slot. And I don't think Bryce Thompson's going to be a good man corner. 4.47's great for showing that he can run with people, but like I just don't remember him playing man very well at UT. Maybe I'm wrong, but I really can envision him because he's got that, like he's got some swagger, he's got some juice, he's got that little bit of like pit bull in him. That kind of, like he's just got a little edge to him, and I love that. And I think coaches are going to love that. And maybe I'm just kind of fanning out a little bit for him right now because I love his play style. But I could really see him, special teams and maybe sub packages and making a name for him if he gets in the right position or in the right situation. So I like the way he plays. I like that he's hard nosed.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's move on to Josh Palmer, which we actually got a good, almost all of his numbers. So he comes in at 6'1", 210. Hand size is 9 5/8, which is actually pretty good for a wide receiver. No, it's not Hakeem, or what was it? Hicks.
Oh,
Hicks.
Yeah.
That wide receiver on the Giants who had just like massive
from North
hands.
Carolina.
Yeah,
North Carolina. Yeah.
But Josh runs 4.53 and a 4.51 in the 40. So kind of what I expected. Never saw him as just like a
burner.
burner out there on the field. Vertical jump is a 34. Broad jump is a 10-4, so 10 feet 4 inches. Runs a 4.25 shuttle and a 6.98 3-cone, which are pretty good. I mean, to get as a skill guy, you want to get under 7 for your 3-cone, so that's good. And the 4.25 is pretty good at shuttle. So even if he's not as fast straight line speed, he can still, change and direction and be able to get shifty with it. But vertical jump being 34, I would expect it to be higher. Honestly, I thought he was a better jumper than that, but I mean, it's not a bad time overall.
34 still pretty strong, I think.
Yeah, overall, I mean, he had a good day, and I do think this helps him in the draft process. And a lot of people were saying like he won't make it out of the second day.
I saw that same article, or I was reading something. I guess Jim Nagy, who does the Senior Bowl, I think, or whatever he does, he made a comment that Trey and Josh really helped themselves. Like you said, they shouldn't make it off the second day, but I don't know how I feel about Josh Palmer. Like, I'm really happy for him that he had a pretty good day. I thought he was good at UT. I don't know. Like, it just surprises me because there's guys I think that will be good in the pros and they don't ever make it. And then there's guys that you're like, they get a shot and then randomly they just pop up on like a Sunday. Like Marquez Callaway's I thought he was good at UT. And I thought he was a good player and I was hoping for him. But then all of a sudden you turn on like Sunday Night Football and he's like getting a few snaps with the Saints. So I'm like, wait, what? So you just never know. And I think a lot of times it's situational. But the one thing that I will say that sucks for Josh Palmer is this receiver draft is deep. And the other thing about it is it's like in a little bit of a way, I think receivers, not yet, but I think receivers are going towards that trajectory of running backs where these NFL teams just know, like, you can kind of get a middle of the road receiver to do to be productive is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So,
you don't necessarily need your OBJs out there because, I mean, the Browns were literally better without him. And it's like, does a wide receiver affect the game as much as the other positions?
And it was correct. And with salary cap, like, do you really want to pay a Julio, an Antonio Brown, a DeAndre Hopkins, a Devontae Adams, an OBJ, Stephon Diggs? You want to pay all those guys? I mean, they're great to have, but like when you got to put your other money in left tackles, defense ends and outside linebackers and corners and quarterbacks, it's just tough. So it's kind of, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, Josh Palmer, I thought he had a pretty good day. What do you think of his game, just real quick? I guess, like,
I always loved – I mean, I thought he was very consistent, just like one of those guys that we could get him the ball, he'll make the catch. It was – I always, like I said, didn't think of him as a burner, thought of him as just a dependable guy, which is good a lot of the times, more of a possession receiver than anything.
Right.
And, we didn't have that great of quarterback play this past year, so it's like – hard to
good point
really say they performed well in this game or they performed bad in this game. It's like if a quarterback can't get you the ball, if he's fumbling in the backfield, if he's getting sacked every 5 plays, it's like hard for you to show out. So that kind of sucks for him, just like getting game film out there. But I still think he performed pretty well this past year, and he felt like someone on the offense that was like, okay, he's an actual good player. Because there's other guys that started and played where you're like, that guy doesn't need to be out there. I'm not going to name any names, but y'all know who I'm talking about.
All right, hit me with Big Trey. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so big boy comes in at 6'5", 321. Which is down in weight from like his season weight. Apparently he was, 330 during the season. So lost a little bit of weight, which is good. I mean, this guy killed it. Ran a 5.14 and a 5.11 in the 40, which is very fast for 321 pounds. 31-inch vertical, 9.4 broad jump, a 7.43 3-cone, which is, they said, like the top ranked this year of all the linemen, and got 32 reps on bench. So I don't know if he actually did the shuttle or not, because I wasn't able to find that. The only little thing that kind of made me question was his hand size was 9 6/8. And I mean, Josh Palmer's was 9 5/8. So that's kind of small for a 6'5", 320-pound man.
What's your hand size? What's your hand size?
10 5/8.
And his was what?
9 5/8. It's 6'8".
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so I got a whole inch on hand size. So I don't necessarily think it's that big of a deal, but
right.
I'm still like,
it just caught your attention.
Yeah, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But all of his numbers were awesome. I mean, the 31-inch vertical jump shows his explosiveness. 5.14 for the 40. It's very fast for a guy. And like I said, the 3-cone was one of the quickest of any lineman, and 32 reps on bench. It's, right where you want to be.
Didn't you get 32?
I did get 32. Yes.
Yeah. Good memory on my part. Yeah.
Yes. I was very proud of that one, because I was, just like Trey said, I was shooting for 30 and was able to get 32. And that started my day off. So it felt good going into the other events. But I mean, these numbers, what Trey's put on film, the fact that he's been all SEC, all American, gone through what he's gone through, stand-up individual. I mean, honestly, I feel like he should be one of the best guards coming out. And I don't understand why maybe he's not seen that way. Maybe the blood clots kind of worry people, and they don't necessarily want to put him as high. But, I mean, this guy's a road grader. He's smart, and he's got all these athletic numbers. It's honestly insane, some of the stuff he's been able to do.
Where do you I see him as the third guard listed, so I don't think that's that bad. I mean, he's the number 3 guard.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just feel like, I guess with guard, you're never going to get in the first round, but like if he,
some guards do go first round, but
some do, but I mean, I just feel like he's a late first, early second round pick. And I don't know if he'll actually go there. I think he'll go probably in the third as like a steal, but I think he deserves a little bit higher praise.
Well, I think I'm very excited to see where he goes. And I do think the blood clots have to be somewhat of a worry. Now, we all know that the NFL is going to do their due diligence even more some. You know what I mean? Like, they're going way, way into it. So that probably does hurt him. And then there are a couple other good guards. I think the only people that he's behind is the one from Wyatt, I think, from Ohio State. And then I think the other one was maybe from Oregon. I could have that wrong. But for the people listening who are just like our average Joes, like myself, it's incredible that a 6'5", 321-pound man can do that, because I'm like 6'1", 205, 210. And like, I guarantee he jumps higher than me. He's faster than me. Like, and it's just people. And I've really understood it. Like when you were going through this process and playing in the league, and when we had a couple other buddies trying to make it, like, people don't get, like, these guys are the freaks of the freaks of the freaks. Like, I love the little NCAA commercial that's like 2% of all college athletes will go, the only ones that go pro, everyone else will go pro in something else. But like, we all knew Trey was a freak coming in. It's really nice to have a 5-star that lived up to it. I'm happy for his numbers. I'm very excited to see where he gets drafted. I think the other thing that everyone knows about Trey is like he's just kind of a pro's pro. Like he's already a pro. Like the way he handles himself, carries himself. Like you think as long as God willing his health stays good, like he'll be a 10, 12-year pro and make a great living for himself and make a good contribution. I will say this, and this is no knock, and I remember arguing this with some people, but like. And maybe it was because the offensive line as a whole wasn't good. But like I really, and this is just way too much high expectations, but I literally thought he was going to be like one of those guards, like a Chance Warmack that you literally, or Quentin Nelson in college. I'm talking about in college, that you would watch a game and they were just mauling people like every play. And like maybe for me as a fan, that's just not realistic. You can answer that better because there are other really good players, but. And I get it because I was saying this to somebody and they're like, well, Reed, he didn't give up a sack in like 9 million snaps. I was like, I get it. He didn't give up a sack. Then again, he is a guard. So it's a little bit more difficult to give up a sack or a little bit, you know what I'm trying to say? It's easier to not give up sacks as a guard, interior lineman. But like, I just didn't see him just absolutely maul people like I thought or like I hoped or like I expect. And, I remember still when he was like a true freshman down there in the Georgia Tech game, he pulled and was like, I don't know if it was a D end or a linebacker, but he was like a 17-year-old true freshman and just like killing people. And so I don't know. What do you think about that? Because obviously he was still great, but.
Yeah, no, I think he still played great. He was the one light spot, like, on our offensive line this past year where it's like, yes, like he knows what he's doing. He knows,
right.
The play, he understands football, but you only get so many opportunities to really road grade somebody. I think he still had those because
Okay.
I did, see certain plays because that's the difference in guys who have watched a lot of film is you watch your position before everything else, and everybody likes to watch the ball, but like I'm always looking at the line first, and then my view shifts to where the ball goes. I mean, there was a few plays where he's going all the way up until the whistle, and pushing people over piles and really getting under the skin of some of the defenders. So I do think, like you said, it is easier pass pro as an interior guy. You have bumpers on both sides.
Right.
So also, maybe he did give up a sack because he was supposed to pick up a blitzer and the running back ended up doing it. And then the running back gave up the sack. It's like, there are times where a sack might be your fault, even though you weren't blocking that guy, but because you didn't say something or you didn't pick it up or you didn't realize the defense, it can come down to on you.
Right. Well, I'm glad you said that though, because that's just me being a fan, and like obviously, I still watch the game sometimes as like a player or from a coach's perspective, and I try to like not be like a fan, but sometimes it's just tough because I'm like, all right, run it right behind him. Let's automatically get 3 or 4 yards every time, and it's just not realistic, I guess.
I mean, it all depends on the defense that you're getting, and I think the problems we had last year were non-adjustments and just, kind of having that, oh, well, he's good. Let's just run it there. Or, well, this is how I drew up the offense. It doesn't matter if a guy can't necessarily make that throw. It doesn't matter the guy's skill level at wide receiver or skill level at running back or skill level at quarterback or skill level at tackle. This should work because it's my offense versus their defense. And it's like, no, that's not like you have to win one-on-one matchups. You have to be able to perform as an athlete. And that's what gives me a lot of hope with Heupel because they've said over and over, we are going to adjust to what we have. We have to figure out what we have first, and then our offense is going to match that. So that's what makes me really happy about that moving forward.
And here we are again with another sponsor. It is eBay. So eBay is the original sneaker marketplace. If you're looking for rare, dead stock, or the latest releases in sneakers, they are the place to go. It's the only place that you should be going. eBay has an authenticity guarantee, so your sneakers are meticulously inspected, and they go through the box, the logo, the stitching, and dozens of other inspection points. Each sneaker also gets an authenticity guarantee tag, which includes a digital stamp of authenticity, and it also protects sellers with a verified return process. eBay is also helping sellers. If you are a seller out there, they have eliminated selling fees on sneakers $100 or more. So it's really easy to sell shoes online. So go to ebay.com/sneakers today. eBay, the world's best destination for discovering great value and unique selection.
Hey, let me jump in real quick. So I
Okay.
want us to do the best we can to try to be a little bit different, give these fans a little bit different perspective. So to my knowledge, there's no other UT podcast that I can ask this question to, or even media covering. But like, how was it going through pro day? Like, that had to be one of the most nerve-wracking things ever. And like, one other thing, I don't want to go too terribly long today, so I kind of want to bring this back in the summer. But I want to hear about the training for pro day and the training for the combines. Like I said, I don't want to jump in that right now, but just how nerve-wracking was it that day? Like, and just give us a quick rundown of what the day kind of was like.
Yeah, very nerve-wracking. Even more so for me because I didn't get to play in like a senior bowl game thing afterwards. Which it was very confusing. It was like some of them didn't realize that I was available to come and then didn't invite me. And I was just like, okay. Because I didn't quite understand. I was all SEC my last year and thought, okay, I'll get an invite to one of them, maybe not the Reese's like Senior Bowl, but another one. Anyways, so this was like my only opportunity to like put something out there. And yeah, I mean, it was very nerve-wracking just trying to feel my absolute best at that time. Leading up to it was just eating really healthy, making sure my weight was exactly where it needed to be.
What was your weight?
305.
Okay.
Yeah, so I probably lost around 10 pounds after the season, because I was probably like 315 playing. So 305 was like, that was my aiming point. Needed to be 6'4", and like you're trying to stretch that neck out as much as you can. I was right on the line, 6'4". And you just felt like, okay, this is my only opportunity to really show anything. And I prepared so much for different drills I might do, because like your position drills is very important too.
Right.
And I did stuff for like 5 minutes, and it wasn't even that position specific. And it's like, dang it, man. Like I put in so much effort. I felt like I could have given more, which kind of sucked. And I wasn't quite happy.
Where did you train for it?
I trained at Tennessee. Like I stayed there and trained with our strength staff, and was there every morning, doing either speed drills, lifting, everything I could. And then in the afternoon, I was doing my classes because I was still in school and looking to graduate that May.
Who was doing your nutrition stuff?
I mean, we still had nutritionists on staff, and I would talk to her about things, but I was kind of doing it myself. I'd stop drinking, like that whole 3-month period, all home cooked meals, staying away from sweets, making sure I had a veggie, a carb, and a meat on my plate, and just watching what I ate, kind of.
And I thought something that was pretty neat too is, remember your agent told you to grow your beard out to try to make you look like,
yeah, he was like, hey, just grow your beard and your hair because you want to look the part. also, just like look mean at all times. So I did do that. I grew it out as much as I could. And then I got married in July of that year. And my wife was not going to have me with long hair and a beard. And it was an ugly looking beard too. So
Yeah, it was.
I had to shave all that off, cut my hair, make it look nice, and then regrow it again. Going into that season of playing and stuff. But yeah, no, I think that I honestly do think that matters sometimes. We're like, okay, well, he actually looks like an offensive lineman.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a good experience. There was numbers that I wish I would have done better. I ran like a 5.3 on the 40, and I felt like I could have gotten faster, like in the 5.2s, and I felt like I didn't have that good of a start, and my 10-yard split was slow. But I was happy about my bench. I got 27 on vert, which I was happy with. I got 8.11 on my broad jump. I wanted to get past 9, but and then the shuttle, I got a 4.7, which I was very happy with, and felt that was really fast for me. And honestly, for offensive linemen, it is pretty fast. So I was happy with that one, but I got like a 7.7 on the 3-cone, which was not my best. But
do you think, honestly, do you think if you had gone to like one of these places in Florida, Arizona, California, Georgia, and trained for 2 months, and you just basically lived there, they cooked all your meals, they, did all your workouts, so you'd go in the morning and do agility and speed stuff, and then in the afternoon do strength. Like, do you think not doing one of those could hurt you?
I really don't know, because I don't know how much difference it would have made. Like, I don't know.
So like you're the strength people at UT. You felt like they helped you with like your 40 start, like they helped you with all your techniques and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we were working on that constantly. I mean, I had to stay at Tennessee because I was still doing classes, so it was like I couldn't really go anywhere else. But yeah, I don't know if it really would have made that huge of a difference. And yeah, I just feel like if you're putting in work, and obviously your strength staff knows what they're doing, like they're college strength staff, it's like they're just as experienced as the other guys. So I felt like I had a good opportunity to get everything I needed, and I was lucky that I had them there, honestly, because I had to stay at UT. So I was lucky that I had them there to help me out and help me perform at my best. But yeah. It's a nerve-wracking day. It's also very relieving when you get done with it. Went and ate Stock and Barrel, had a double cheeseburger, fries, and a beer. And it was so good after, going 3 months of eating pretty clean and no drinking and everything like that. So, but yeah, I think it's.
What did you see? I mean, it had to be pretty intense to see like these GMs that you see, these coaches that are all right there next to you. Like, what coaches or GMs did you see that you're like, oh yikes?
So the McKenzies were there, Khalil's uncle and dad. Mike Tomlin was there.
Yeah.
He always comes. For some reason. He's always there. I'm pretty sure Nick Caserio was there, who's the GM now, because he was at the Patriots.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember who else. I mean, like scouts that you don't really know who they are, but they're wearing an Arizona shirt or but honestly, it's a distraction. So you try and block it out and like not look at them.
Yeah, valid.
And like not let them know that you're looking at that. Like, it's very weird. It's like, when you see a girl at the bar and you're like, don't look over at her. I don't want her to, think I'm, interested in her, but I am interested in her, but I want her to know that I'm, not. And you trying to play this game. It's like the same thing with like these 40-year-old men with notepads and a pen. Like, oh, I'm not interested, but I am interested. But like, I want you to look at me, but like not look at me. It's weird.
Hey, those 40-year-old men with them notepads, I'd much rather have some attention from them than some smoke show at the bar.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the big orange juice. I'm so excited for this today.
Okay,
one of my best stories.
Okay. Yes, Reed has been talking about this for a couple days, so he is excited to share one of his stories. So, big orange juice. Would you like me to tell my story first and we end on yours, or would you like to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to tell a story about me getting in a fight with pretty much the entire defensive line at practice. So this is senior year. I can't remember exactly when. It was during the season. Later in the season, we are doing a team drill. I am trying to reach block LaTroy Lewis, and he sticks his hand up in my face mask, tries to do the lockout thing that defensive linemen do, and literally it's just in my neck, in my chin, in my face mask, pushing my head back. And I was just pissed. I was pissed off that he did that. I was mad that he was doing that. Like, hey, if you beat me, if you put it in my chest and like I can't block you because you got it in my chest and you're beating me that way, props to you. But if like you're doing some cheap stuff and like that's how you're able to stop the run that we were planning on doing or stop the play, it pisses me off. And I mean, I do regret this because it's my teammate. I shouldn't have freaked out like I did. But so he did that to me. Then the ball went outside. There became a pile behind him. He tripped, and on his way down, I threw a knee at him.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I do not feel good about this. I still regret this to this day. And
where'd
apologize.
you throw a knee? What do you mean? What do you mean you threw a knee? Where'd you hit him with the knee?
I aimed for his head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like as he was falling, I was like, like that, like trying to hit him. And obviously that was uncalled for. Low points for Kyler, but everyone else saw it too. So the other defensive linemen were not happy with me. LaTroy got up. He wasn't hurt or anything. He's got a helmet on. So LaTroy got up. Kendall Vickers came over. Someone else, I can't remember. And we started swinging. And they were swinging on me, and I was swinging on them, but it was like 3 or 4 of them and just one of me. And I really don't remember anybody trying to help.
Where the hell is the other offensive lineman?
I don't know. They were probably like, yeah, you are an idiot. You shouldn't have done that. But
I mean, they can at least come and just try to break it up. They don't have to be soft as baby doo-doo.
I think eventually they did. But so I'm like trying to swing on people. They're swinging on me. And then I feel someone from behind grab my stomach, like around my stomach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the heck is this? Like, are they trying to break it up? And they pull to try and pick me up, and they don't, because I'm 320 at this point.
Yeah.
And they like pull to try and pick me up, and they can't. And I'm still on the ground, and I'm trying to like go forward and punch. And again, they get a little bit lower. They pull, pick me up, and turn and flip me over and bring me on the ground. It turns out it's Derek Barnett. He got onto the other side of me to do that, to pick me up and put me on the ground as like part of the fight. So
yeah, he wasn't trying to break it up. He was still trying to like.
No, he was still trying to fight me. So he puts me on the ground. He gets over on top of me and starts trying to swing. I immediately grab his helmet, his face mask, and start trying to do uppercuts onto his chin because that's the only place that you can actually hit.
Right.
And then, so he's on top of me doing the same thing, and I'm punching up, he's punching down, and then after that, people came over and like grabbed him, grabbed me, tried to split it up. And who knows, maybe it was because they didn't want Derek getting hurt. But yeah, so that was a pretty awkward situation because I knew I was in the wrong. And, going over and apologizing to LaTroy and the rest of the defensive line was pretty awkward. And I made sure and put my helmet on and tighten it up real good when I went over there. But yeah, I still regret that. But just to let people know, fights happen all the time, and it's not a bad thing. And I think it's stupid that coaches try and hide that or hide that fights happen because it's part of football. And if you think a guy gets out of line, he goes too far, like a stepping on a face or, something cheap. Okay.
Yeah.
Punish the guy. Let everybody know I'm punishing him because he did a cheap move in a fight. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. But like the whole, he fell on a helmet kind of thing. I mean, just say that he got in a fight.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Or maybe like someone hit him with a helmet because they don't know what they're doing. But just roll with it. And
so real quick, that happened. You apologize. How long did it take for you to calm down after that? Did you like immediately like 30, 45 seconds to a minute and then went over there? Because I know you probably felt pretty bad pretty quick. But or was it like later at the end of practice, or when did you go apologize?
No, it was right then, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they broke up the fight. Like, okay, everyone, like, no more team period, go to individual.
Yeah.
And like we were literally over at individual, not doing anything. Like we weren't going through drills. We were just like standing there getting water. And so was the defensive line. And the pit in your stomach of guilt. And I'm just like, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I need to go apologize. And was just like, hey, look, I'm sorry. That was, BS of me to do. You're my teammate. I should, that's a cheap thing. I shouldn't have done that. And, he was like, yeah, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, I completely agree. This is completely on me. I'm sorry that I did that. Just wanted to tell you. But
so what did he say? How did it end? What did he end up saying?
Just like, yeah, man, don't be stupid. Like, we're teammates.
Okay, so he wasn't like, hey man, thanks for the apology. It's all good. He still wanted to kind of rub it in type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't gonna be like, oh yeah, it's all good. No, he was like, yeah, you're an idiot. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. I'll take that one. And then, awkwardness, I guess, between us throughout the season and not really like talking. But people don't understand, you kind of get a divide between the offense and defense when you're practicing so much against each other. And it's like, I'm trying to beat you.
Right.
In all of these drills. So there is kind of a divide that does naturally occur.
It's just competition. It's just competition.
It's just competition, and sometimes it goes a little too far.
Yeah. Well, it happens. Who was the coach then? They had to start yelling and saying, "Break it up, break it up." And all
it was Butch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. Oh, Butch didn't want DB getting hurt.
Yeah, well, I was also the only
offensive
lineman that had played the entire year. Everybody else had been either hurt or got sat, or I was literally the only one that had played every game up to that point. So
No, I'm joking. He knows he can't lose his best offensive lineman and then a first round draft pick either in Derek Barnett.
I mean, he used to when he first got there, he used to say like, and he did it. Like if people got in fights, they'd break it up immediately and then make them go circle of life against each other.
Oh, okay.
And just like keep doing circle of life until they were just worn the hell out and be like, "Oh yeah, are you done fighting now?" I'm like,
right.
Honestly, that's a good tactic.
Sure.
Because people will be like, I don't want to get in a fight because I don't want to do circle of life.
Right. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But had to diminish myself there for a second. But let's get into your juicy story. See
All right.
For us.
All right, here it is. So this is like one of the it's a really cool story. It's a really neat story. It's something I'll remember forever. And I can give a name too. So that's the cool part. So I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to tell the story how it happened. I got to play. It was actually PS4, but I would play video games with C.J. Watson, who was like star point guard when he was here, like one of the best players on the team and the basketball team when he was here. And how that happened is so when my family moved back to Knoxville, as we were looking for a home to buy or like to move into or whatever, we moved into an apartment. It was Wendover Apartments in West Knoxville. And so that's where we lived. So I was in 7th grade. So this was probably like 2005. And I'm going to basketball games with my good buddy, Jack Gillespie, who was like a ball boy, and his family always had like good seats and stuff. So anyways, one day after I think it was like after a UT Florida game or another game, we get to go back to the back area and wait out there for the players to come out. And so we're back there, we're getting autographs, we're getting pictures, like living the dream for like a 7-year-old or a 7th grader. And so a girl comes out and I recognize her. And I'm weirdly good with like faces. Like I can see someone's face and like spot them out. Well, I go back to think, I'm like, I recognize that girl from Wendover, from the apartments where in the summer I had recognized her at the apartments or whatever. And she's a UT cheerleader. And so I'm just like talking to her, like whatever. And like me being me, I'm like, hey, like, don't you live at and she's like, yeah, very friendly, very nice girl. So C.J. Watson comes out. Obviously, I'm like, C.J., like, and I want to get his autograph, get a picture with him. Well, he starts talking to this girl, what is actually, I guess, like his girlfriend or whatever. And I was like, wait, what? And so, like, we were talking or whatever. And I guess just awkwardly put him on the spot. Was like, hey, do you live at Wendover Apartments? And C.J. Watson was a very quiet guy, but he's a super nice guy. And he was like kind of smiling and grinning. He's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, oh, my gosh, like, that's so awesome. I was like, I live there too. And like, so anyways, like we're talking now, I have no idea how I remember how I knew what apartment number he was. And I don't know if the girlfriend told me or CJ told me, but bad idea on his part because like super nice guy. And so like get the autograph that night, get to talk with him. Of course, like go home later. I'm like, tell my mom and dad, I'm like, dude, CJ Watson lives here, yada, yada. I knew his apartment number. So I ended up writing him like just a little handwritten note and taped it to his door. It was like, hey, Mr. Watson, like this is Reed. I met you at the game. Like hopefully this isn't weird, but like if you ever want to play like Xbox or video games together, like that would be so awesome. Like call this number. Well, this was before like not before cell phones were around, but like before they were as big a deal now. Where like every like second and third grader has like their own iPhone. So like I don't even think I had a cell phone at the time. I gave him the number.
Call the landline.
Right, exactly. So I gave him the landline number to the apartment. Now, true story. So Ryan Alley and I, so one of my buddies, he was over that night, and we put the note up there. Well, we were on the fence about going to a Sacred Heart Middle School dance. We're like, do we really want to go? Do we want to stay here? Whatever. We decided to go to the dance. We come back from the dance. My mom's like, you will never guess who called. And I was like, what? And my mom had no idea who CJ Watson was. She tells the funny story that he calls And she realizes it's like a grown man calling and asking for her son. And he called and he goes, "Hey, is Reed there?" And she's like, "Well, no, Matthew's calling." He's like, "This is CJ Watson." And she's like, "Who the hell CJ Watson?" So anyways, we come back and she tells Ryan and I, we're like, "What? He called?" We're like, "Bro, I'm telling you, I was sick to my stomach. I was freaking out." So anyway, fast forward the story. I write another note. I'm like, "Hey, we weren't home. Like, we're so sorry we missed it. Can you hit us up again or whatever?" And he did. And I was home, and Jack and I, who had actually met him the first time, go and we play PS4 with him, or PS2. And it was like the coolest.
PS2.
It was like the coolest thing in the world, bro. First off, we walked into his apartment, and his apartment was sick. So I'm not saying that he was getting improper benefits, because honestly, his parents could have been wealthy enough to or even his scholarship check could have been enough to pay for, an $800,000-$900,000 room apartment. But I'm talking super dope TV, just really, really nice couch. It was not a college apartment. I can say that. And so we go in, and he's like, "Y'all want to play, March Madness, the college basketball game?" So we sit down, we're playing March Madness, the basketball game. And it's it was kind of even weird for us, because we're like, we don't want to be lame and annoying. But then like I said, he's a quiet guy. So he's definitely doing it just to be nice. But it was just a little bit awkward. But the two things I always remember, besides how nice he was and how cool it was at that time, he had 2 cell phones. And this man is sitting on the couch and this is the other thing I remember, he was incredible at video games. Now, maybe it's because we thought we were good at video games. He was incredible. I think he beat me legitimately 101 to 40 in the college basketball March Madness. So A, he was really good at video games, but B, he had 2 cell phones. And the whole time almost we were there, there was one cell phone that was just blowing up. And he's answering it and talking to people. And then he had one of those ones that you flipped open, and it was the long keypad looking thing. And it was almost like one of those sidekicks that you would text on. So this man was beating our butt in PS2, talking to people, and then texting probably girls. It was incredible, how he could rotate the 3. But anyways, really, really cool story.
That is why Reed now has 3 cell phones. So
mine are for my work, but hey, I do feel cool like CJ Watson. But but anyways, it was just a really, really, really cool memory. It was a really cool thing, and it was really awesome that girl, I think that the cheerleader that I saw, we recognized, so nice, so freaking nice. And then she was I think she even was like, "Hey, do you want to meet CJ?" And so when he came out, we were yelling. She took us over. We met him. We talked, and that's when I asked him. So she was great, but it was just one of the coolest stories ever. I'll remember that forever. Honestly, it was really neat. So
awesome that he, even as a college student, was like, "I will hang out with these 7th graders to make their life." You know what I mean? It's not just to be a nice person. So shout out CJ.
Shout out CJ Watson. If he's on Twitter, I need to reach out to him and just DM him and be like, "Hey, thanks." But anyways, super cool of him.
And the thing you said, where it was we thought we were good at video games. I had one of those same experiences. I thought I was good at NCAA, and I went on an official visit to Tennessee and played Juwan James. And I played with Tennessee, and he played with Southern Miss and beat me by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Kicked my butt. And I thought I was legit.
College kids are different when it comes to video games, because that's all they can do is practice, play, and then play video games.
Yeah, exactly. So I think everyone gets that wake-up call when, when they step up to the plate. But that is awesome. I'm glad that he was nice enough to do that, and just down to earth kind of guy.
Yeah. And let me say this, and we went over there probably 2 or 3 times. So it wasn't a one-time thing. Guy was incredible to us, and it was it was awesome. It was awesome.
Can't believe you missed that first one.
Oh, bro,
I was idiot.
I was so sick to my stomach. I was like, dude, he's never going to call again. But no, he was great. It was awesome.
So. All right. Well, that's the Big Orange Juice. Hope those stories are pretty entertaining for everyone. And that's the show. Appreciate you guys coming out. Like and subscribe on YouTube, rate and subscribe on all the podcast platforms you might listen. Let friends and family know what we're doing. Share our stories with them. Maybe they'll get a kick out of it. Follow me on social media at Kyler Kervison, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's all the same. Send questions or, comments you might have to believein.tennesseefootball@gmail.com or our phone number at 865-322-9232. And we'll answer some questions for you. So appreciate you guys coming out. And I guess that's it. As always, go Vols.